Okay, so now I think it should be like to get the dog on the other side, talking about mentally juggling whatever is going on again. So the point is that I'm trying to make, right? There are like a lot of stressful places. You know, one reason I don't really understand why. But in a way I do, because, you know, this is like a cemetery, right? You know, often cemeteries are quite beautiful places. And I was always wondering, why can't I lay around here and chill? Because it's the respect for the dead, right? I mean, we really have to respect the dead, because we do that too little. And I think an easier way would be having a shrine at home, where you just light a candle for all your ancestors, just say thank you. You know, I've never really been doing this, but I would like to be honest. And like, they also preserve quite a bit of our history, you know, not forever, but just for a little while. And I have the feeling that that's something that we should also keep safe in a way, keep like protecting it, because after all, it's nature. And I think, you know, we ought to do something to preserve it. And right now in front of my eye, I know I didn't want to do that anymore, but the path is taking shape, and right, I don't cling to it. I get a vision of where the journey is going to go from here on. And I'm just trying to follow it as best as I can. And that's the thing that, you know, The Hobbit says, that the road goes ever on and on, blah blah blah. You read it yourself, you know. Don't like reciting things word by word. See, sometimes I have to check if she wants to poop, right? And that's why I somehow dislike walking her while filming myself, because I can't really focus on her. Or maybe I just have to practice this, but because I'm focused too much on what I'm saying, and that shouldn't be really the way. I think it should be more about what wants to come out rather than what I specifically want to say, because then there's always a hidden intention. So I would say things where I would think that if I'm going to say that, you're going to do what I expect you to do. But then comes the problem, you know, I don't want to be another person expecting anything of you. You know, I'm just somebody who talks about how he lives his life and what works for him. You know, all I expect from you is, well, I don't know, but what do you expect from yourself? Do you want to be happy? Like, could you see the potential? Guten Tag.
Hello.
The potential for happiness? And if I'm walking around here filming myself, is that disrespectful? You know, questions need to be asked. A lot of things need to happen. But I think, you know, I'm not really hurting anybody here, you know. I'm not like excessively shouting. I'm talking rather quiet. If I would be here with somebody else, you know, that would also be okay. And so, oops, Amy. And that's also something to be respected, right? My wish to come to a quiet place like this and just relax a bit. I've never done that, because I think somehow I have been in a hate relationship with cemeteries, and I just never knew. You see, now I have to make sure that she does not. Amy. Platz. Bleib. So she always wants action, right? She always wants action, and that's the inner child. And that's in a way Platz. And that's basically your inner child. And that's why, right, if you want to grow out of yourself, in a way, you have to learn how to deal with this. You know, this is a very nice place. So if you want to chill, go to cemeteries, go to parks. Find a quiet spot. When you're in a city, like, there's always going to be a cemetery somewhere. And cemeteries are kind of nice because you won't have a lot of shit lying around, because people at least respect these areas a bit. And right, if I normally would be able to sit here and smoke a cigarette, then I don't understand why it shouldn't be okay to also smoke cannabis here. If it helps me relax, I'm not hurting anyone, you know, I just want to sit here and chill a bit and do what I feel like doing in the space, right, that is being occupied by the people that came before. I think that's a very respectful thing to do. Also, to spend the time with death once in a while. I think that should be something that is absolutely okay for anyone who wants to do it. And yeah, you just have to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not hurting anybody and you're not spreading like a lot of anxiety. Ja, ja, muss so ein bisschen was. Ja, ich mach das gerne. Aber Sie können auch ruhig, wo Sie wollen, also. Ja, okay. Nicht, dass ich Ihnen die Bank klaue. Ja, schön. Ja, danke. And see, now they also appreciated it, the way I engaged with the camera, because indeed this is like quite personal, like you are a part of that conversation. I'm just having a conversation with you. And the only reason that I know how to do this by now is because I learned how to listen. I learned how to listen, and I learned how to listen to others, but also realized while I was listening to others that others weren't listening to me. And that's why the first step in being responsible for your own needs is by starting to listen to them. And that's the way I feel about it. And, you know, sometimes I'm still a bit shy about a lot of things that I'm, you know, here to do, that I want to do. Sometimes I'm just a little bit anxious about what might happen if I open a certain door. Platz. Hier, komm. Und hier, Platz. You see, it's, you know, now she was all the time shut away. She doesn't like that. She wants to be with somebody that loves her, right, that engages with her. But sometimes, you know, you can't help it. Sometimes you're too busy. And now the whole scene just turns into something more lightful. And that's why I say, Platz. Bleib. See, she likes that a bit better. But for that you also need to have the time and the space, of course, to allow her to do this, to relax into your arms. And so this is a female dog. That's quite important to notice, because females have different needs for security and for like emotional security. You know, they want to be felt, they want to be touched, you know. This female isn't really going to challenge you. She just wants to push you to be the alpha. A male dog may take over, but actually he also really wants to push you over, because they know it's not their job to be the alpha, you know? Hey. See? And so dogs are like really gentle souls that can prepare you a lot for being a parent, just by like lovingly engaging with them. It's like, hey. And they really want to play, so you have to engage with them a bit. You know, physical contact is quite important. She loves that. And, you know, while I'm saying this, I'm also saying this to me, like, you know, if you are with a woman, they love it. You know, that you don't have to do anything, just spend time with your wife or your girlfriend, you know? You don't always have to say something, as long as you keep engaging with her, and for that you can find new ways. Let's do something together. I don't know. Let's go slacklining, but that's a bit hard, right? Everybody should have then their own slackline. So through dogs you can really learn to appreciate another being. And through that you can learn to appreciate yourself, because if the dog manages to appreciate you, you can surely appreciate the dog. And then by time you start appreciating yourself more. And if you appreciate yourself more, you can also appreciate others more, because in a way they always show you who you are. Because if somebody does something that you dislike, it merely shows you, okay, I would like to do it different. And I was mortally afraid of dogs because of something that has happened in my past, and now I've realized that it was so just my fear, right? And a lot of people are afraid of love, especially in these kind of cities. They're like producing fear. It's like a breeding machine. Aus. A breeding machine for fear. And so I do enjoy these kind of videos. You know, now here I'm a bit like shy of letting her run around, but I think she will just do her thing, and we'll just see about that. I think that's also what I want to do. Because there's always a fine balance. Some people, you know, they let their dogs loose and then they just run havoc, you know. Christopher-Reusch.com. Cheers. See, now it's not working anymore.